just about 6 minutes. You're being recorded right now, so I hope that everybody heard Monet is hungry. She's starving, actually. All right. So what we were just talking about is that you have to turn in the prompt that says explain how. You have to turn in the number 6 question for the poetry interview notebook into a prompt. So the prompt is explain how the poem you found reflects your person or couple's personality. And then when you do your pre-writing rules, you carefully read the prompt, which is this, and then you underline the words in the prompt which give specific direction or important instructions or topics to address, which is what we did here. We have to reflect the person's or couple's personality, and we have to find a poem. And so next thing you do, it says pull out and bullet the words underlined, which is what we've done here. So we have to find a poem, and we have to write or tell what the person's personality is. It's a little bit redundant, but you get the idea. So our poem, you would write the topic of the title of your poem, and this is going to be Lifting and Leaning. And this is by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. And then what is your person's personality? Well, I'm going to write about my grandmother. And my grandmother is very generous, and she's faithful. Specifically when it comes to prayer, and she's loving. And so the next thing that we have to do is to brainstorm answers or ideas for the bullets without using words in the prompt. Well, this is where it's going to be best for you to go ahead and write your thesis statement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my thesis statement, but I'm not going to use words in the prompt. Okay, I already know that she's generous, she's faithful, she's loving. So I'm going to write something like this, and instead of using the word personality, I've already looked up some synonyms for personality. And so some synonyms for personality are like disposition, identity, makeup, magnetism, nature, individuality, attributes, essence. So a lot of those are already some synonyms for personality. So I don't want to use the same word that's in my prompt, and my prompt says tell about the couple or the person's personality. So I'm going to write my thesis statement. So I might say the generous, loving, and faithful nature of Kay Reed, my grandmother, is described in the poem Lifting and Leaning by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. So that's our thesis statement, or at least it's my thesis statement. How are we doing? Is everybody with me? Okay. The next thing that our list says to do is based on the prompt and what you bulleted, decide how many paragraphs to use to address the prompt. Well, I'm only asking you to write one paragraph, and that one paragraph is going to be an 11.3 paragraph. So we're going to say we're going to write one 11.3 paragraph. That's what you're going to be tasked with doing. Then it says write 3 to 5 word phrases when planning your topic sentence for each paragraph. Well, we don't really have to do that part because we're only writing one paragraph, right? One long paragraph. But then it says write 3 concrete details under each topic sentence. So rather than writing 3 topics or 3 details, what I might decide is to look at this. All right, so how can I talk about how she's generous and provide details about her generosity, her loving nature, and her faithfulness to pray for me? So what I would do then is I would say, okay, well, she is generous. I would say she's loving and she's faithful to pray. And as I look at my poem, I might say I want to use this word like there are two, the people who lift and the people who lean. Well, my grandmother is one of those people who lift. So, because she gives to so many people. So I might put people who lift. And then where it says faithful to pray, I might put on here this easing the load. Are you easing the load of overtaxed lifters? So I'm going to use this phrase, easing the load. Because that's the specific phrase that I'll use in my essay. And then I would try to find a part in here that talks about how she's loving. Well, she carries other people's worry and labor and care, and that's a loving thing to do. So I might put carries others worry and labor and care. All right. So these are the things that I'm going to use in my concrete details, or as my concrete details in my paragraph. And so I will let you go. However, with your poem, I want you to get to this point with your poem for Monday. Okay, do that for me. Get to this point with your poem by Monday, and then we'll continue working on this.
And the narratives do Monday.
The rough draft, yes. All right, thanks, girls.